Welcome, tennis fans from all corners of the globe, to another massive update from the world of professional tennis. Today, we are turning our eyes to the lush, pristine lawns of the United Kingdom, specifically the historic Edgbaston Priory Club for the 2026 Birmingham Open. We have an absolutely explosive development, a headline that is sending shockwaves of excitement not just through the tournament grounds, but across the entire continent of Asia, and particularly within the passionate sporting communities of the Philippines and Thailand. The whole world is indeed at a glance as Alexandra Eala, the 21-year-old Filipina tennis sensation, explodes into the quarterfinals, setting the stage for an epic, high-stakes collision against a very familiar foe, Thailand's Mananchaya Sawangkaew. This is not just a tennis match. This is a regional rivalry, a clash of styles, a story of redemption, and a testament to the surging power of Southeast Asian tennis on the global stage. We need to talk about exactly what is happening here in Birmingham. Grass court tennis is a unique beast. It is a surface that demands respect, a surface that requires a complete recalibration of footwork, timing, and strategy. For players who grew up on the hard courts and clay courts of Asia, transitioning to the unpredictable, skidding bounces of English grass can often be an insurmountable hurdle. But what we are witnessing this week from both Eala and Sawangkaew is nothing short of a masterclass in adaptation and raw talent. They are dismantling the narrative that Southeast Asian players cannot thrive on the quickest and most traditional surface in the sport. Let's begin by dissecting the absolute tear that Alexandra Eala has been on, entering this WTA 125 tournament as the number one seed carries a psychological weight that can crush a lesser player. You are the hunted. Every opponent steps onto the court with nothing to lose, swinging freely, hoping to claim the scalp of the tournament favorite. But Eala has carried that top seed mantle with the poise of a seasoned veteran, showcasing a level of maturity that proves she is ready for the upper echelons of the WTA Tour. In her opening match, the round of 32, she faced Australia's Priscilla Honourable now. Han is an experienced competitor, someone who knows her way around a tennis court and certainly knows how to handle pace. What Eala did to her was simply breathtaking. A 6-0, 6-2 demolition. Eala was striking the ball with such venom, such precision, that the Australian was completely suffocated. It was a statement of intent. It was Eala looking at the rest of the draw and saying, "I am here to win this title." But the true measure of a champion isn't just how they perform when everything is clicking. It is how they respond when their back is against the wall, when the conditions are tough, and when their opponent catches fire. That exact scenario unfolded in the round of 16 against Alina Kuriva. The match started exactly as the previous one ended. Eala was flawless, racing to a 4-0 lead in the blink of an eye. Her left-handed forehand was dictating the rallies, her serve was unreadable, and she calmly secured the first set 6-2. But tennis is a game of momentum, a sport where the psychological landscape can shift in a matter of seconds. Kuriva dug deep, found her range, and suddenly the script flipped. Eala found herself down 2-5 in the second set. The crowd was preparing for a third set. The momentum was entirely with Kuriva. In years past, perhaps a younger, less experienced Alex Eala might have mentally checked out that set, choosing to conserve energy for the decider. But not the 2026 version of Alex Eala. She stared down the barrel of a deciding set and refused to blink. She trusted her game. As she brilliantly stated in her post-match interview, she knew that even if it went to a third set, she had the required level. So she decided to make it as complicated as possible for Kuriva to close out the second set. That mental shift from defense to relentless pressure is what separates the good from the great. Eala dug her heels into the Birmingham grass and rattled off 5 consecutive games. 5 straight games to snatch the set 7-5 and secure the victory. She didn't panic. She didn't deviate from her game plan. She simply raised her intensity, forced the errors from her opponent, and slammed the door shut. That 6-2, 7-5 victory was a monumental display of grit. It proved that she possesses not just the physical tools, but the tactical brilliance and emotional control required to conquer the grass. And now, she stands in the quarterfinals, 2 wins away from a final, but standing in her way is a player who is writing her own incredible Cinderella story this week. Enter Mananchaya Sawangkaew. If Eala's journey to the quarters has been a display of front-running dominance and clutch resilience, Sawangkaew's path has been a masterstroke of sheer momentum and unyielding determination. The Thai powerhouse did not have the luxury of a direct entry into the main draw. She had to earn her spot the hard way, grinding through the qualifying rounds. In the qualifiers, she systematically dismantled Yuriko Miyazaki and Aoi Ito, not dropping a single set. Qualifying for a main draw provides a unique kind of dangerous confidence. By the time a qualifier faces a main draw opponent, they're already fully acclimated to the courts, the weather, and the tournament atmosphere. They are match tough. Sawangkaew carried that blazing form straight into the main draw. In the round of 32, she flexed her might against Linda Klimovicova, setting up a round of 16 clash with a highly capable American, Kayla Day. Against Day, Sawangkaew showed her incredible tactical adaptability. The match began with a chaotic exchange of breaks, with Day eventually securing a 4-2 lead in the opening set. Much like Eala's situation, Sawangkaew faced a critical juncture. And much like Eala, she responded like a champion. She flipped the script entirely, going on a dominant 4-game run to steal the first set 6-4. From there, the resistance was broken. The Thai player dropped only one single game in the second set, wrapping up a comprehensive 6-4, 6-1 victory. Let that sink in. Mananchaya Sawangkaew has played 4 matches in this tournament against top-tier professional competition, and she has not dropped a single set. She is a runaway train, a player operating at the absolute peak of her powers, and she is hungry for more. This brings us to the most compelling aspect of this quarterfinal clash, the history. This is not the first time these two fierce competitors have crossed paths, and their previous encounters add a layer of psychological warfare to this matchup that is absolutely fascinating. This is an all-Southeast Asian duel, a rematch with immense pride on the line. Just last December, Alexandra Eala traveled to Sawangkaew's home soil to compete in the Southeast Asian Games. In a high-pressure gold medal match, with the entire region watching, Eala delivered a dominant, straight sets victory to capture her first-ever SEA game singles gold. The emotional weight of that victory for Eala and the sting of that defeat for Sawangkaew in front of her home crowd cannot be overstated. Athletes remember those moments. They use them as fuel. But the history does not end there. If we look back to their only previous encounter on the WTA Tour, which took place on the hard courts of Takasaki in late 2024, a very different story emerges. In that match, Eala actually started strong, taking the first set 6-4. But Sawangkaew demonstrated incredible resilience, completely taking over the match to win the next 2 sets 6-1, 6-2. In that encounter, Sawangkaew exploited vulnerabilities in Eala's game, capitalizing on double faults and breaking the Filipinas' serve numerous times. Sawangkaew leads their professional head-to-head 1-0. Therefore, while Eala might be the top seed and the betting favorite, Sawangkaew steps onto the grass court with a tangible, factual knowledge that she has the tools to completely dismantle the top seed's game. We are looking at a collision course between two players who are arguably playing the best tennis of their respective seasons. Eala is looking to solidify her status as the absolute queen of Southeast Asian tennis, eager to prove that her top seeding is no fluke, and determined to avenge that 2024 defeat in Takasaki. Sawangkaew, on the other hand, is the ultimate dark horse, riding an untarnished streak of sets won, carrying the momentum of a qualifier, and possessing the psychological edge of knowing she can break down Eala's game on the professional tour. The stakes could not be higher. A spot in the semifinals of the Birmingham Open against either Switzerland's Rebecca Mazarova or the US ace Mary Stoyana hangs in the balance, alongside invaluable ranking points and immense regional bragging rights. Let us take a moment to appreciate the theater where this drama will unfold. The Edgbaston Priory Club in Birmingham is a venue steeped in the rich traditions of lawn tennis. The grass here is meticulously manicured, playing fast and true, rewarding players who are willing to take risks, step inside the baseline, and dictate play. It is a venue that has seen legends of the game grace its courts, serving as a crucial stepping stone for players preparing for the ultimate test at Wimbledon. But the English summer is famously unpredictable. As Alexandra Eala herself noted in her recent press conference, England has particular weather. The ball can skid heavily when the dew settles. The wind can swirl unpredictably through the stadium, and the overcast skies can affect visibility and ball tracking. These environmental factors add an entire layer of complexity to the match. It is not just Eala versus Sawangkaew. It is both players against the elements, testing their ability to remain focused and positive when a bad bounce or a sudden gust of wind disrupts their rhythm. Eala's attitude towards these uncontrollable elements, viewing them as a necessary part of the growth process and a way to become a stronger player, highlights a champion's mindset. She understands that to conquer grass, you must first accept its imperfections. You cannot force your will upon the surface. You must dance with it. This maturity, this profound understanding of the nuances of the game, sets the stage for a tactical masterpiece today. The whole world is truly at a glance, waiting with bated breath to see which of these Southeast Asian queens will conquer the British grass and etch their name into the semifinals. Now, let's transition into the deep dive analysis of this blockbuster quarterfinal matchup. When you break down the mechanics, the tactics, and the psychological underpinnings of Alexandra Eala versus Mananchaya Sawangkaew, you uncover a fascinating chessboard of contrasting styles and subtle adjustments. To predict how this match will unfold, we must look far beyond the rankings and delve into the microscopic details of their games, specifically how their respective arsenals translate to the unique demands of grass court tennis. First, let's examine the top seed, Alexandra Eala. What makes the 21-year-old Filipina such a lethal force on the court is the heavy, penetrating topspin she generates, particularly off her left-handed forehand. Growing up and training extensively at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, Eala has cultivated a baseline game built on intense physical conditioning, relentless aggression, and the ability to dictate the geometry of the court. Being a left-hander is an inherent advantage in tennis, as it naturally opens up different serving angles and forces right-handed opponents to constantly defend their weaker backhand side against a naturally cross-court forehand. On hard courts and clay, Eala's heavy topspin jumps up at the opponent, forcing them to hit the ball out of their strike zone. However, grass changes the physics of the game. The ball does not bounce as high. It bites into the turf and shoots low and fast. This means Eala's heavy topspin won't kick up as high as it usually does. To succeed on this surface, she has had to flatten out her ground strokes slightly, driving through the ball rather than just brushing up the back of it. And from what we have seen so far in Birmingham, she has made this adjustment beautifully. Against Kariva, when she found herself in that 2-5 hole, Eala didn't just loop the ball back. She stepped into the court and drove her forehand deep into the corners, taking time away from her opponent. Furthermore, Eala's serve has become a significant weapon. While she may not serve at overwhelming speeds, her placement, particularly her slider out wide on the ad court, is highly effective on grass. But she must be wary. In her 2024 loss to Sawangkaew in Takasaki, Eala struggled on serve, hitting 6 double faults and allowing the Thai player to win over 40% of her second serve return points. If Eala's first serve percentage drops today, she will be leaving herself incredibly vulnerable. On the other side of the net, we have Mananchaya Sawangkaew, a player who presents a completely different, yet equally formidable set of challenges. Sawangkaew is a master of rhythm disruption and counterpunching. Thai tennis has a glorious history on grass courts, most notably with the legendary Tamarine Tenisugarn, who was a perennial threat at Wimbledon due to her flat, skidding ground strokes and exceptional court sense. Sawangkaew seems to be channeling that same lineage. She doesn't need to overpower her opponents. She uses their pace against them. On grass, this is a devastating skill. When an opponent hits a hard, flat shot, Sawangkaew is incredibly adept at absorbing that pace, dropping her center of gravity, and redirecting the ball down the line or cross-court with pinpoint accuracy. Sawangkaew's run to the qualifiers in the first 2 rounds of the main draw has been defined by her exceptional return game. Against Kayla Day, she applied relentless pressure on the American serve, forcing errors and converting crucial break points. In their previous WTA meeting at Takasaki, Sawangkaew created a staggering 12 breakpoint opportunities against Eala, converting 7 of them. She reads the game beautifully, anticipating the server's intentions and stepping inside the baseline to take the return early. This takes away the server's reaction time, especially on a fast surface like grass. For Sawangkaew to win this match, she must turn this into a baseline track meet. She needs to keep the ball devastatingly low, utilize the backhand slice to force Eala to bend her knees and dig the ball out of the turf and pounce on any short balls. Tactically, this match will be won and lost in the first 4 shots of the rally. Grass court rallies are notoriously short. Eala's primary objective will be to establish her forehand immediately. She wants a high first serve percentage, followed by a first strike forehand to either hit a clean winner or force Sawangkaew into a defensive scramble. Eala cannot afford to be passive. If she rolls her shots in and allows Sawangkaew to get rhythm, the Thai player will surgically pick her apart. Eala needs to be the aggressor, looking to come to the net to finish points when the opportunity arises, taking the skidding bounce out of the equation entirely. Conversely, Sawangkaew's game plan will revolve around depth and variety. She will look to target Eala's backhand, keeping the ball deep and low, preventing the Filipina from stepping around to dictate with her forehand. Sawangkaew's slice will be her best friend today. By slicing the ball, she keeps it inches above the grass, forcing Eala to hit up on the ball, which often leads to attackable floating replies. If Sawangkaew can successfully execute this pattern, she will frustrate Eala, potentially drawing unforced errors and breaking down the top seed's mental resolve. Psychologically, this match is a fascinating case study. Eala is the top seed. With that number 1 next to her name comes an invisible backpack filled with expectations. She is expected to win. The Philippine fans, who are among the most passionate and vocal in the world, are expecting her to lift the trophy. Eala has shown incredible maturity in handling this pressure, as evidenced by her brilliant comeback against Kariva. She understands her level. She trusts her preparation, and she knows she has the game to win. However, the ghost of Takasaki 2024 still lingers. Eala knows exactly what Sawangkaew is capable of. She knows that winning the first set, as she did in Japan, does not guarantee victory against a fighter like Sawangkaew. Eala must maintain absolute mental vigilance from the first point to the last. There can be no lapses in concentration, no moments of self-doubt. Sawangkaew, meanwhile, is playing with house money. As a qualifier, every match she wins is a bonus. She is on a 4-match winning streak. She hasn't dropped a set, and she knows she has beaten Eala on the professional tour before. That is a potent cocktail of confidence and freedom. She will step onto the court feeling utterly unburdened. She has nothing to lose and absolutely everything to gain. This mental freedom often translates into physical looseness. Sawangkaew will swing freely. She will go for her shots, and she will not be intimidated by the occasion or the opponent. When we look at the statistics, the margins are razor thin. Eala is the betting favorite, opening at minus 215, indicating the odds makers respect her top seed status and her overall pedigree. However, the set handicap tells a different story, suggesting that experts believe Sawangkaew will make this a deeply competitive affair, highly likely to push it to a deciding 3rd set. Ultimately, this match will come down to execution under pressure. Can Eala's heavy, aggressive game pierce through Sawangkaew's impenetrable defense? Or will Sawangkaew's flat, tactical counterpunching unravel the top seed's rhythm? It is the classic battle of the irresistible force meeting the immovable object, transposed onto beautiful, treacherous lawns of Birmingham. As we wrap up this extensive deep dive into today's monumental quarterfinal clash, it is crucial to zoom out and look at the broader implications of this match for both players, for the tournament, and for the global landscape of tennis. The winner of this absolute blockbuster between Alexandra Eala and Mananchaya Sawangkaew will not only secure a coveted spot in the semifinals of the Birmingham Open, but will also send a resounding message to the rest of the WTA Tour. Waiting for the victor in the next round is either the formidable Swiss talent Rebecca Mazarova or the rising American star Mary Stoyana. Both of those potential opponents possess immense firepower, but whoever emerges from this Southeast Asian derby will carry a tidal wave of momentum and battle-tested confidence into the Final Four. For Alexandra Eala, a victory today is about validation and trajectory. She has been heralded as the future of Philippine tennis since she was a young teenager dominating the junior Grand Slams. The transition from junior prodigy to professional champion is notoriously difficult, filled with pitfalls, injuries, and immense psychological strain. Eala has navigated these treacherous waters with remarkable grace. Reaching the semifinals and potentially winning this WTA 125 event would represent a massive leap in her professional ranking. pushing her closer to the holy grail of a direct entry into main draws of Grand Slam tournaments. It would validate her grueling training blocks, her decision to spend her formative years away from home at the academy in Spain, and her unwavering belief in her own potential. More importantly, a win over Sawangkaew would serve to exorcise the demons of that 2024 loss in Takasaki, proving that she has evolved, that she has learned how to counter the tricky, flat-hitting style that troubled her in the past. It would be a statement that Alex Eala is not just a great player in the making, but a great player right now, capable of imposing her will on any surface, against any opponent. For Mananchaya Sawangkaew, a victory today will be the crowning achievement of an absolutely spectacular fairy tale week. To start a tournament in the qualifying draw, having to fight and scrap just to earn the right to play in the main event, and to then bulldoze your way through the draw without dropping a single set, is the stuff of tennis legend. It speaks to a level of physical endurance and mental fortitude that is exceptionally rare. Upsetting the number 1 seed to reach the semifinals would not just be the highlight of her season. It could be the catalyst for a massive career breakthrough. It would instantly elevate her ranking, opening doors to higher-tier tournaments and more lucrative opportunities. Furthermore, a win today would solidify her status as a genuine giant killer, a player who fears no one, regardless of their pedigree or ranking. It would be a tribute to the resilience of Thai tennis, proving that a new generation is ready to take the mantle and make deep runs on the international stage. But beyond the rankings, the prize money, and the tournament brackets, this match holds profound significance for the entire region of Southeast Asia. Historically, professional tennis has been heavily dominated by players from Europe and North America, regions with vast resources, deep-rooted tennis infrastructures, and an abundance of top-tier academies. The rise of players like Eala and Sawangkaew is shifting that paradigm. They are proving that world-class talent can blossom anywhere, provided there is dedication, hard work, and unyielding passion. When young children in Manila, Bangkok, or anywhere across Southeast Asia turn on their screens today and see 2 women from their region battling it out in the quarterfinals of a prestigious European grass court tournament, the impact is immeasurable. It shatters the glass ceiling of what is perceived to be possible. It tells the next generation that they, too, can dream of playing on the pristine lawns of England, that they, too, can trade ground strokes with the best in the world. Eala and Sawangkaew are not just playing for themselves. They are carrying the hopes, the dreams, and the immense pride of millions of fans who see a reflection of their own aspirations in every forehand winner and every hard-fought point. The sheer poetry of this matchup is what makes tennis such an incredibly captivating sport. You have prodigious talent of Eala, groomed at the highest levels, armed with overwhelming power and top seed status, looking to fulfill her massive destiny. And standing across from her is Sawangkaew, the gritty, relentless qualifier, riding a wave of flawless tennis, armed with tactical brilliance and the psychological edge of a past victory. The contrasting narratives, the clash of styles, and the sheer magnitude of stakes create a perfect storm of sporting drama. Will Eala's aggressive left-handed topspin game dictate the terms of engagement and overpower the Thai qualifier? Will she maintain the mental composure she showed against Kariva and execute her game plan flawlessly under pressure? Or will Sawangkaew's incredible defensive skills, her precise slice, and her ability to absorb pace frustrate the top seed? Will momentum of 4 consecutive straight-set victories propel Sawangkaew to the biggest upset of the tournament? These are the questions that will be answered on the grass courts of the Edgbaston Priory Club today. We are guaranteed a spectacle. We are guaranteed heart-stopping rallies, tactical adjustments, and moments of pure, unadulterated emotion. This is why we love the sport of tennis. This is why we tune in, hold our breath, and live through the triumphs and tribulations of these incredible athletes. The stage is set. The players are ready. The Birmingham Open is about to witness a quarterfinal clash that will be remembered for years to come. I want to hear from every single one of you watching this right now. I want you to head down to the comment section and give me your absolute, honest predictions. How do you see this match playing out? Are you backing the top seed, the pride of the Philippines, Alexandra Eala, to power her way through to the semifinals in straight sets? Do you think her aggressive game is simply too much for the grass courts? Or are you riding the incredible momentum of Thailand's Mananchaya Sawangkaew? Do you think the qualifier has a tactical edge, the defensive prowess, and the psychological advantage to pull off the massive upset? Give me your score predictions, your tactical breakdowns, and tell me who you think will ultimately lift the Birmingham Open trophy. This is a community of passionate tennis fans, and I cannot wait to read your insights and debate this incredible matchup with you all. Thank you so much for joining me for this extensive, deep dive analysis. If you enjoyed this comprehensive breakdown, if you appreciate the deep tactical analysis and the passion for the sport, please make sure you hit that like button. It truly helps the channel grow and allows us to continue bringing you the most detailed tennis content on the internet. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and turn on those notification bells so you never miss an update, a match preview, or a post-match breakdown. The 2026 tennis season is heating up, the grass court swing is delivering absolute magic, and Wimbledon is just around the corner. We will be here covering every single serve, every single volley, and every single thrilling moment. Enjoy the spectacular All-Southeast Asian quarterfinal. Savor the incredible shot-making, and appreciate the immense heart of these two phenomenal athletes. Until next time, keep swinging, keep watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.